What is a secret luxury brand that only really rich people know about? My favorite discovery was the wealthy version of Craigslist. It's called the James Edition, https://www.jamesedition.com, and it's so much fun to flip through and be sad. There are islands in the Caribbean and Pacific where billionaires go to get away from millionaires. Old school tailors from Napoli that makes their suits from scratch, all made to measure, like Adolini. Op post history reads like a BuzzFeed journalist churning out articles. All commenters should prepare to be quoted on clickbait articles. Aman Hotels. For when you don't want to associate with the pores at the Ritz and Four Seasons. Not so much a brand as a location, but the entire north end of Key Largo is undeveloped for a single reason, the private community called the Ocean Reef Club. They buy up land anytime it is for sale, to continually keep development away from their location. In their defense, much of the land has now been donated and made state park and NWR. They have their own airport, golf courses, doctors, restaurants, shopping/grocery and bank all inside the gated community. Employees aren't allowed to wear anything with the Ocean Reef label outside the gated community. There's a nice 2-lane bridge running from Florida City to the north end of the island that has nothing but the Ocean Reef Club. Edit. It's been explained the road existed prior to the larger bridge to the south. I can admit I was ignorant to that fact. Nice try, old money TikTok. I used to work for a private family and one day we were doing an audit of his clothes/suits. No brand name, no anything on it, and I asked where it was from and I wish I could remember the name, but it was from a small boutique shop outside of London and he would fly the tailor in on his plane to his house to get his measurements for almost all of his clothes. T-shirts, jeans, shorts, and all of his suits. One Christmas he gifted me a suit from them and the tailor measured me and showed me the fabrics and he told me the final cost was $16K for the suit. I almost shit myself at the cost. I called the boss to tell him and he said not a problem, get what you like. I wrap up the process and the guy said okay, on to suit number 2. So now I own 2 of these suits that I'm terrified to wear because they are so expensive. I'll have to dig through my photos to see if I have any pics of their card. John Lobb is a luxury shoe brand, but there are honestly a lot of these smaller bespoke specialty clothing and shoe makers that aren't even household names amongst the wealthy. People with the money and interest in specific things end up gravitating towards bespoke items and designs they personally like and will know their favorite makers but not necessarily some other rich guy's favorites. Like Savile Row isn't a brand but rather refers to a street with a number of individual bespoke tailors. Rich Guy A and Rich Guy B are both buying high-end suits on the same street but from different brands. That all said, I think the era of Savile Row is winding down in relevance. The modern era makes it easier for the high-end clothiers to continue serving the ultra-wealthy from anywhere and without the need of storefronts to promote a brand awareness. Triton Submarines. https://tritonsubs.com. This is a legit custom private submarines company, unlike that company. For the most part, brands are for middle-class people. The very function of branding is to create an association with that brand's status, to use it to say you too have status since you can afford that brand. This is most common among clothing, but extends to other things as well. The wealthy, the people with more money than time on this earth, will use that money, have something made for them. Clothing that is tailored, cobbled shoes, carpenter's custom furniture, etc. The people who make things for the rich have a reputation of quality that does not require a brand. My mom's favorite brand growing up was "This belonged to your great aunt so and so." There's a guy Sam, not his real name but what he has Westerners call him, in Saudi Arabia. Has no social media, website etc. but he trains and sells the best falcons in the world. Years long waiting list, and if you are in a room with this guy you made it. You must be referred by a current client and he is very involved with the Crown Prince. Heck, if you're involved in falconry you made it. Primark. Few of you have heard of the Fasig-Tipton yearling sales. But many of us commoners around Lexington, Kentucky are familiar. Also, horse farm brands like Windstar and Three Chimneys aren't known to people outside of the area. If you know about them, you're either in the horse industry or very wealthy. Kirkland. Edit. I love how this comment is Lil Drake's claim to fame. My Spotify is going absolutely crazy right now, I'm freaking out. Thank you so much. If you guys really want me to make a Costco song, let me know and I'll seriously do it. LOL heart hands medium light skin tone hashtag Costco for life. Dagurnai wallpaper. Starts around 1K per panel. It's utterly beautiful. Magico speakers. This doesn't really exist anymore thanks to the internet. I see Loro Piana dropped a few times, but it's carried by all the major retailers, not to mention supplies fabrics to dozens of more normal brands. True secret shit? How about shoes made from a type of leather that no longer exists, but a boat sank with some a century ago and they salvaged the leather, and you basically have to be unbelievably connected, i.e. nobility, to get your hands on a pair. https://www.newyorktimes.com/2006/11/02/fashion/02bespoke.html. Nice try, pores. The hyper-rich don't care about labels, they care about value and resale. I work in interior architecture and their money goes to art and designed objects, more so as investment pieces. Monthly consumables are budgeted to the housekeeper to keep things in shape. Have a tax liability? Donate your piece of art to a museum, bought at X amount, appraised at 5X, then write it off. My favorite memory meeting clients is on the wall, $1 million painting and a custom bench seat. The husband is wearing white New Balance sneakers and socks from Costco. If you want true luxury, it's all custom. Ironically, it's cheaper than buying off the shelf. I.e. a Piero Lissoni sectional, retail price $150,000. Custom dupe with your choice of fabric and cushions, $10,000 to $15,000. I'll just wait to read the highlights of this one on TikTok tomorrow. Domaine de la Romani Conti. Bottles of Pinot Noir that can cost more for one 750 ml bottle than lots of people make in a year. Bar S hot dogs. In Kyoto, Japan, there are old established restaurants with geisha entertainment, nothing sexual, where you have to know the owners to get a reservation, and you only know the owners because your family has been going to the restaurant for generations. Pine Valley Golf Club. You can't apply. 2 members have to approach you on their own. You aren't supposed to tell anyone you're a member, or write about it. If you do, you can get punted. The club is an actual municipality with private homes. There is no cash allowed, everything gets charged to your number, except caddy tips and bets. When we played, we had 2 caddies, we tipped them $1,000. They also got salary, benefits, and a 401k match. It's also widely considered the best, toughest golf course on the planet. No one outside the membership knows what the fees are. There is a breed of cat that floats 2 inches above the ground. Fred Bed Linens. Not a brand, but Sven Borja is a secret European country that only rich people know about. Whores Bank, Seahor & Co. Personal bankers, they interview you for 2 hours to see if you're good enough to be a customer. White's Club St. James, where royalty go to get drunk. There's also City of London Club and Brooks Club, home of the Society of Dilettanti. I'm lucky enough to have worked in all of them as a contractor. That secret club at Disney World. There's a years-long waiting list just to get an interview. Karlborg, Linens, RMS Spencer, Clothing and Horse Tack, La Cornua, Stoves, Diefenbeck Design, Audio Equipment. As I've read through guides on different luxury goods, clothes, watches, etc., I've noticed that with all of them, there's a mass market idea of what top tier is that differs very much with what the hobbyists know to actually be higher quality. Rough example, a friend was getting married and had his sights set on designer Louboutin dress shoes. Certainly not a bad pair by any means, but is it the go-to of dress shoe craftsmanship? Definitely not. Such a shoe has more of your dollar going to designer margins than quality and is something one buys to convey the image of wealth, something that those who grew up with money probably don't feel obliged to do. What would a true high-quality rich person pick be? Imo, one of those Europeans cobblers that makes bespoke lasts that are designed around your foot, but even below that brands like Alden, Carmina, and Crockett & Jones would be more in line. I work for a company that stores artwork for mostly private collectors and holding companies. The high-end art world is really the only market that knows we exist. Virtu signature phones. They are anywhere from $6,000 to $56,000 a phone and a monthly cost of the concierge service that is a few $1,000s a month. They will get you tickets or reservations to almost anything. Even sold-out events. Or almost anything you can think to get someone to do. I've met one person with this phone. She had enough money she didn't even think about cost of things. Yes, they buy regular Old Navy while we buy outlet. Hason's beds. Handmade and $500,000. Grey Poupon. Healthcare in the USA. The super rich, they don't look at brands. The financial impact of $10,000.10 is the same to them. You can spot the old money super wealthy because they have $10 t-shirts, and bespoke shoes. 90% of their nice clothes is custom made. Accessories are mostly cheap. $5 sunglasses at a beach that is only accessible via private yachts or helicopters because your boat is too big to dock, and a ferry that is company owned for employees to get there.